There we have it. In one of the largest and wealthiest countries in the world, look at all the snow out there and people are living like this. You mean to tell me that they could not find a warming center or a shelter to put these people just to protect them at least for the week, just to get out of the snow? People are living like this in Canada? Now I want you to see for yourself. There it is. There it is. This is sad. This is sad. Unfortunately, this is Canada.
This is insane. There's fires everywhere. It's very cool. It's not cool. It's a homeless population. Yeah, they're all just out chilling, having their fires and shit. It's like camping.
There's another video of the homelessness crisis in Canada. If those videos don't enrage you, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. We got immigrants coming in, taking up all the housing, taking up all the apartments, taking our money, taking our jobs, taking our funding. And then you see real Canadians living like that on the street, living in tents in the wintertime. And you know what? For those people there who have it so good there, those people who have it so comfortable, maybe that doesn't affect you. But guess what? What would you do if your parents were living like that? Your friends were living like that? What would you do if your family, your friends, what would you do if you were living like that? I bet you would be enraged then. I bet you that's when you'd finally sit there and see the bigger picture. Now, I hate seeing my country people, my countrymen and women, sitting there sleeping on the side of the road, sitting there sleeping in a tent in the middle of the winter. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the failed system. I'm tired of watching my people suffer. And I'm tired of the government doing absolutely nothing to address these issues. We are better than that. We are supposedly a first world country. Now, when you see a literal tent city, what do you think? You see that in third world countries. You don't see that in first world countries. This is insane. This is ridiculous. We have real Canadians starving on the side of the road. We have real Canadians living homeless, freezing to death. Literally freezing to death. We can make a change. We can change this. But it's not going to be an easy change. And I'm at the point I don't know if voting will change this. But I'm telling you, we can change this. We don't need to live this way. We don't need to sit there and pay all of our taxes to this government that's making us live like that. Now, once again, ask yourself, how would you feel if it was your friends living like that? Your family? How would you feel if it was you in that situation? Enough is enough, Canada. Enough is enough, people. We got to get this liberal dictatorship out of here, for starters. That's step one. Step one is get them out. Step two is not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of change. But step one is we got to get these liberals out of power. It's ridiculous. It's heartbreaking.
Alright guys, welcome back once again to the channel. I hope you are holding on very well wherever you are watching this episode from now. I've seen a couple of videos of most Canadians are now confessing that they can't afford rent anymore. And they are confessing they can't pay or afford a house anymore. Some of them are even opting to live inside their cars because they have nowhere to go. Some of them are facing eviction due to due rents and high cost of rent. Others are even opting to just go and live downtown, the streets, in the tents during this winter season. And this just shows us how serious homeless crisis is becoming in Canada. When Canadians start confessing that they are being evicted because they can't afford to get a house or they can't afford to pay rent anymore because rent is super expensive, and or they are just opting to live inside their car because of high cost of living. They are working many jobs, but they can't afford to pay the bills over taxation, high cost of commodities, and then to add on top of it, rent, which cost almost 50% of their income. And now they are opting to sleep in their car, to sleep in the tents, or to just go somewhere and share a home with 20 others inside one roof. And in this video, let's see how worse the homeless crisis is becoming in Canada. Then we shall be talking about it.
Look at this is my home. What you see is what I own.
I got sick, couldn't work, couldn't pay my bills, exhausted all my options here. Previous to this, I was employed my whole life.
Probably my drug addiction had a lot to do with it. That being said, I've been on different programs and they've helped me out immensely, but it doesn't help when I have to come back here.
The issue of homelessness is a very complex issue. There's often a number of factors that would contribute to how a person may end up in that situation. Things like mental health, addiction, trauma, maybe legal struggles, financial struggles. There's definitely been an increase in all these factors that have contributed to homelessness post-pandemic.
To get stable housing is getting more and more difficult. I don't have a home to go to and have a bath and supper and play with kids or my cat or anything. I don't have any of that anymore.
Shelters are another beast all to themselves, constantly looking over your shoulder. It's a breeding ground for mental and physical disease in those places.
It's gotten a lot worse on the street. People take from each other and you're not safe. Like, I got robbed 5 days ago. You can't get a job unless you have a home base. Like, I'm gonna go to a job looking like this? No, nobody's gonna hire me.
I feel rejected by the community. I prefer to stay secluded and hidden so I don't feel like I'm being a nuisance.
I can't see anybody in their right mind asking to be homeless. We're just here to survive every day, you know, and it's hard. Every day is survival. That's it.
Getting out of situations of homelessness are actually quite difficult. An intentional focus on what really is causing these issues is needed if we want to look at more of a long-term change or permanent change.
Do you think somebody is warm in this? There's barely any shelter, nothing, no protection, nothing. And somebody has to live in this, sleep in this throughout the night in all this snow, right? Look how somebody is living. This is crazy. This is insane. And we need to speak up. We need to talk about these things. This is where we have to come out to see how people are living. Why don't we come out and do this?
A home sweet home.
For more than 2 months, 76-year-old David Turner says he's been living, eating, and sleeping in his car.
The expense of everything is just crazy.
On good days, he drives to the Charlottetown Marina to greet tourists.
Welcome to PEI, sir.
Turner says his debt mounted, and after a couple months behind on rent, his landlord evicted him. Still, he feels more fortunate than others because he has a pension. It helps, but not enough to rent right now.
Seniors are struggling because of the cost of living, the cost of rent, the lack of affordable housing.
Seniors 65 and older made up nearly 5% of users at emergency shelters like this one behind me last year. That's up from 3.3% in 2000 living.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people living in the Atlantic in Canada have poverty-level living standards? And it's higher than any other region in Canada. Of course, nobody wants this for anyone in Canada, and it shouldn't exist in our country. Why is it that Canada could spend $1.1 billion housing asylum seekers in our country, and then set aside another $1.1 billion in the 2024 budget for more housing for asylum seekers? It would put them up in hotel rooms, facilities where they house asylum seekers with mental health services on site. At what point is enough and we start taking care of our own? This is a gentleman who's worked his whole life, paid taxes his whole life, and is now out on the street. But yet we have enough funding to house people who have never paid a single dollar in tax in our country. Someone please make that make sense. It's insane.
Look, I have nothing against homeless people, okay? But I work downtown in the core, and it's getting so difficult to navigate the people here who are violent and doing violent things, pulling weapons on me, doing all kinds of crazy stuff to other people. I'm just at Dundas and Sherburne. Y'all know where I am, and y'all know what it is. And look, I don't have the answers. I don't know how to fix this problem. I don't even know if this is even a problem that can be fixed. I just can't be coming to work every day expecting to fight somebody or trying to defend myself, you know? And I know there's people out here that have to deal with it, so I'm not trying to complain like it's just my problem, you know? This is everybody's problem. These people need help, you know? I know, find another job. I get it. I get it. Survival mode is real, let me tell you. Good luck out there.
You know, lots of newcomers think that Canada is a guaranteed safety net. They think they're just going to come into this country, work hard, and life is just going to automatically be stable. But when they get there, they realize that it is completely different because housing is unaffordable. The wages don't match the cost of living in this country. And that is why I encourage immigrants to invest in your country. And this is not hate, this is not fear-mongering. You know, encouraging you to diversify your investments, maintain ties with your homeland, and just plan for the future is actually wisdom, because we never know what's going to happen in the future. You know, I can't come out here pretending like everything is okay when people are out there sleeping on the streets and on the sidewalks. We need to come out here and have very constructive, very healthy conversations if we want to prevent our brothers and our sisters from falling through the cracks of this broken system.
My name's Judy Murray, and I'm a homeless individual in Canada right now, and I've been on the roller coaster ride of homelessness for a number of years. Anyway, one of the things where I used to own a condo at 975 Warwick Court, and I met a woman from Afghanistan who had 4 children, and I met them because of my dog, and the kids they were attracted to my service dog. Anyway, this woman was from Afghanistan. Her husband's back in Afghanistan making a boatload of money, and they had her in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they moved her to a 5-bedroom house in Oakville because the 2-bedroom apartment wasn't good enough for her, and all of the taxpayers' dollar. And I say my motto is Canadians first, and there's other stories like that.
And would you agree? Because we believe we need to put a pause on immigration. Like, that's it. Turn the tap off.
Oh, absolutely.
For a bit until we
Absolutely.
fix
This woman is never going to work. She's getting a check for each one of her children and herself. She's never worked a day in her life, and she's never going to be working. And up until the kids are, 18 years old? Yeah. So she's just laughing. And she doesn't drive a car. I'm sure she'll have cabs to every place. I used to say to my parents had rental properties in Hamilton and Burlington, and I used to say to my parents, you're not the social services of Hamilton and Burlington. We had so many people not paying rent. And I can't even believe that I'm in this situation I'm in. I was in the shelter. Halton Region has a shelter, which is run not by Halton, but by Wesley Ministries of Hamilton. I think they need to have business people in there running their shelter. Anyway, I was being evicted from the shelter when I had paid up until the end of the month. But they decided that I wasn't doing enough to get a place, and the barrier for me has been my service dog. And more recently, it's been my credit rating, and there is this geared to income housing list that I'm on, which is years long. But I've been looking at apartments. One day was 3 apartments, and I can't even fill out the applications. You have to send thousands of dollars with your application. And I've already been told my credit rating is too low and they don't want to deal with the dog. So that's not going to change.
Do you ever wonder why a lot of homeless people choose to live on the streets instead of living in shelters? Well, it's because the living conditions inside of a lot of these shelters, also known as SROs or single room occupancy units, are abysmal. We're talking bedbug infested, cockroach infested, and rat infested. On top of that, the type of people who live in these buildings are often suffering from severe mental health disorders and surrounded by drug dealers that are actively pushing drugs on them, even if they're trying to get sober. A system that the city of Vancouver, the province of British Columbia, and Canada as a whole has set up to help people who are in active addiction who are homeless is just not working. Because nobody wants to live in a place where they have bugs crawling on them and crazy people trying to attack them. And for whatever reason, this system continues to be perpetuated despite the fact that evidence is showing that it's not really working. We spent millions of dollars on SROs and safe consumption sites instead of rehab facilities or sober living housing. And the only people who seem to be benefiting from it are the drug dealers and the people who work in these industries. If we wouldn't expect our mom, our dad, our grandma, our brothers and sisters to live like this, why do we expect other people to live like this?
So I'm homeless. Truly homeless. Slept in my car last night. The car's on fumes. And I think my dad just passed me. Not literally passed, but you know what I mean. And I did try to stay at my dad's last night. He kicked me out. Said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Because I came in late last night because I was cold. He had a girlfriend, I guess, come over or something like that, or she was on her way there. So now I'm sitting outside my grandmother's office, where I'm also not allowed to stay because of all the choices that I've made in my life.
One of these videos, I've seen a comment where some of the Canadians are saying we are looking like they are looking for each other. Like, you are sleeping in a car, I'm sleeping in a car, and 19 others are sleeping in a car. Let's collaborate and take a house. Then we can share 5 people a room. Then 5 people a room, because, you know, this harsh weather condition can't allow some of them to sleep inside these cars. So it means that many people are opting to share a single room because of how serious the homeless crisis is becoming in Canada. You know, personally, I believe there is only 3 solutions for this crisis. It's very simple. Number 1, the government should stop aiding and prioritizing projects that are not meant to help Canadians or rescue Canadians. For example, the billions of dollars they aided other countries and still aiding other countries like Ukraine, they can use them to create more houses to facilitate these people. Number 2, they should reduce immigration. Immigration in a country promotes diversity, and Canada is a multicultural country. What they need to do is welcome these immigrants, but do a proper background check to avoid fake asylum seekers, to avoid criminals who are entering Canada in terms of immigrants, and also to build very many houses to accommodate the immigrants they are welcoming. And number 3, if you are building these houses, make sure they are enough. Before you welcome in immigrants, make sure that Canadians have a place to put their head. You know, we are in tough economic crisis in Canada. If you've seen the Canadian FOAP, most of them are complaining about affordability in Canada. You've seen some of the videos that I've posted. Most of them are complaining about the high cost of living, inflation, hyperinflation. Now, on top of it, we are adding the housing crisis. We don't have enough houses for Canadians. That means that if these immigrants start coming, they will scramble for these houses that are supposed to host Canadians. So for us to do this, we need to have enough houses to accommodate our own people first. so that we can have extras to accommodate others. We need to ensure that our people are safe, our people are protected from this weather, they have houses, they are not scrambling for a place to live. Then we can say, well, we have affordable housing. These people can afford rent. These people, landlords cannot evict them. They have a place to stay, and we have some rest. We can give it to the immigrants. And again, make it affordable. Not just saying we need to build enough houses, but you are building houses, and then the houses cost billions to acquire. You have to wait for years to acquire an old house. Yeah, and the new ones, the rent, super expensive. 1 month rent can afford to buy a car. That's not how suppose things. The solution, I think personally, it's just that simple. Reduce immigration. When we fill in immigrants, it means that these immigrants, they have to share what we as the countrymen are sharing, including healthcare and these houses and other resources. So when immigrants come into our country, they will need somewhere to live. And it means that when you don't have enough houses, if they are richer than us Canadians, they will take the houses, and us Canadians will be evicted. Number 2, landlords should stop this game they have started of increasing rent without even giving people a proper warning, because, well, they think or something is telling them that these houses are on high demand than the supply. Number 3, we need to make them affordable. If we are going to build enough houses, make it affordable. Then we could have just solved this homeless crisis in Canada. But those are just my opinion, guys. Share your opinions in the comment section, and see you in the next video after subscribing.